Hi y'all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you like today's video, hitting the like button. Today, guys, we are doing a first impressions, a look, a little demo with the new Unearthly Cosmetics. Where's my blood? Now, I mentioned in my last makeup releases video, I think it was my Halloween edition, that I wanted this palette. And I picked this one up, and I also picked up the Weirdos palette. And that hasn't arrived yet. I don't even think that's shipped yet. I was on I think either the second or third pre-order for that. So I'm hoping that it arrives at least before Halloween, because I want to get these videos up before Halloween time to show you some looks with these. These are limited edition, and this one specifically is limited edition. And if you picked it up, you know, I'm always a little wary about doing limited edition items that may not still be available. But if you do have this and you ordered it, you may be, you know, thinking about, you know, looks and ideas and wanting to hear more info about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play with it. I do want to say, I want to thank you guys so much for all of the well wishes that you put in my community tab when I talked about my little dude Finn. He is doing much better, but it was a very scary time. That's why I didn't post on Monday. I just took some time because not only was I working, but I was also kind of taking care of him and making sure he was okay. We got his test results back on Monday, and he already had health issues, so I already knew that. But you know, we're sort of hoping that with medication changes and you know a couple of extra medications that they're going to put him on, he goes back for follow-up next month. We're hoping that we can kind of get him back on track, but it was very scary, and I honestly didn't know if I was going to come back from the vet with me. That's how scary it was. So yeah, he's fine. He's right here. He's doing so much better. He still has health issues. He's still sick. But again, like I said, that we're hoping that the medication will kind of like right the ship a little bit. But he's back to his normal self. Finny, where are you? Do you want to say hi? He wants to leave the room is what he wants to do. One sec. Hey guys, so back to makeup. Let's get into this palette. All right, I have zoomed you guys in. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with this palette. It's beautiful, but it is a lot of shades. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little intimidated by it when I first opened it up. I was like, oh, wow. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna cover up the mirror so I'm not like blinding you guys. But this is what it looks like. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you can see it a bit better. So this is what it looks like. It's a lot of shades. I don't usually go for palettes that are this big, but the theme, I mean, it's got Akasha from Queen of the Damned, aka Aaliyah, on the cover. I'm like, did you think I wasn't gonna buy this? Iconic, you know. But also these shades are stunning, and I don't know. I've never tried Unearthly's eyeshadow formula. I've tried their lipstick formula, which is nice. I've tried their chrome flakes, which are nice, but I've never tried one of their actual palettes. So I was like, you know what? Now's a good time. I'm like scratching now because I have cat hair all over me. But yeah, let's get into it. I will try to do swatches. You guys know I suck at swatches, but I will try to remember to do swatches at the end. I want to get into the look first because I want to. So I'm gonna wipe off this brush. I need to wash my brushes, but it's been a week, y'all. So I haven't been able to do a lot of things that I was planning on doing. I didn't get to do this past weekend for obvious reasons. So, all right. I'm thinking I want to do a red look. I'm wearing an orange sweatshirt, but I mean, I kind of knew when I put this on, that was probably not the best idea, but I love this sweatshirt and I just wanted it to be, it's like my favorite, and it's cozy and comfy and warm, and I wanted to wear it. So I was like, I'm gonna wear it and it's just gonna have to clash. So I think I want to start with the neutrals. We're not doing a neutral look, don't worry. But I think I'm gonna start with this shade Violin, which is this really beautiful tan tone, if you can see that. Then go on with a little bit of Mother. And then I think I'm going to do a little bit of the shade Marius. We're going to go from there. We're going to build out from there, my friends. I don't know what I'm doing. I've already primed my eyes. I'm using a different primer today. I've been having issues with my Natasha Denona primer, and I don't know if it's just because of my eyes. I get eczema patches on my eyes sometimes, and I feel like the last time I did my makeup, yesterday when I did my makeup for work, I was getting a lot of like dark patches where it was clean, and I feel like it's a combination of my skin and the primer, because that primer doesn't really set. It's a, you know, and I don't set my primers. I don't like setting my primers, so I'm using a thinner one. I'm using the About Face one, which I've used this once for video and I wasn't a huge fan, but I'm thinking if I put something a little bit thinner on my eyes that actually does set, it might be fine. We'll see. We're gonna see. We're just flying by the seat of our pants here, people. I'm gonna use this giant mirror, and we're just gonna go in, and I'm just gonna go. I don't know what I'm doing as far as shapes go. I'm probably just gonna do my regular. I don't think I'm gonna do anything that, well, actually, we'll see. I have an idea, but I'm gonna start off with this. That blended beautifully. I really like this shade. This blended beautifully. Beautifully. Okay. I think I am going to do a little something different. I think what I'm going to do is actually take this Violin shade again, and I'm going to take it up higher into this part of the eye, because I want to give it a little bit of drama. So we're going to take it all the way up into the upper inner part of the eye. There we go. To give that shape. Oh, that's pretty. I'm liking that. I'm taking my Sonia G Mini Booster, and I am taking that shade Mother. And I'm going to place it here. Oh, that's pretty. I'm tapping my brush off because these shadows from what I'm just dipping in, they are a bit powdery. They don't have a lot of kick up in the pan, but they are powdery. So just something to consider. So I just, because I'm using natural hair brushes, which pick up a lot of product, just by design, I'm just tapping my brush off so I don't overwhelm myself with pigment. Okay. That went on like red. What? And a lot of red shadows can be really quite lightly pigmented, let's be real. Which I think some brands do because they're like, we don't want to scare people by having so much pigment on the brush at once. But for me, that's what I want. I want the payoff of it having a lot of pigment to it at once. And I can decide, you know, to tap my brush off and go in lightly, but I don't want to have to spend 1,500 hours building up a bright shade that's bright in the pan. Like, no. No, thank you. I'm really liking that. I want to take this 14 again, and I want to go back into Violin a little bit, and I just want to lift this up. I just want to bring that up a bit more, if you can see that. All right, now the question becomes, oh, I really want to use this. I really want to use that. But then we have all these beautiful flakies. Look at that. I think we're gonna have to go with this one, y'all. Look at this. Look at that. We're using this one. I'm gonna dip my brush. But I think I am gonna, because this is I want to show you guys how flaky this is when I pick it up on the brush. It is incredibly flaky. So I think I'm going to wet this just to keep it from falling all over my face. But, I mean, you could also use, of course, a, you know, like glitter glue, which I do have. I don't use it that often. It's weird. I'm kind of lazy about glitter glue. It just seems like a lot of work, like an extra step. But I'm fine with wetting my brush. Go figure, which is also an extra step. I don't know. I don't know. That's my logic. What can I say? I only dipped in once because I had so much product on my brush when I picked it up that I don't feel like I need any more. I'm literally just taking those flakes and spreading them out across my eyelid here, because this is so pigmented. Look at that. Can y'all see that? My goodness, that's gorgeous. Gorgina. Okay, so I have finished both lids, and I actually also deepened up this. My hands are like, look, this is how pigmented these are, okay? This is how pigmented they are. My hands are like stained, which means my lids are gonna be stained, but you know, this is what we do for beauty. Yeah, so I deepened this parts up, but I think I'm gonna go in with a deeper tone for my outer corner, and I think I'm gonna go in with a little bit either of Alone, which is the brown, or Forsaken, which is the black. I'm gonna go with Alone just to see how deep I can get the outer corner with that shade. These are, guys, this is after wiping my hands off. These using that same mini booster, and I'm just gonna deepen this corner out because I feel like it needs it. Needs a little bit more structure here, which I want to give it. There we go. This is a very pigmented brown, just so you know. Just so you know. Now that that is done, I want to focus on the lower lash line, and I don't know what I want to use. There's so many options. There's this shade. Oh, look at this. Guys, I may have to do another video with this palette. I don't have time today, but I want to play with, like, look at that. This is the shade Charms. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God. So pretty. And then there's the shade Worship, which I almost did a look with yesterday. I swatched it, and it's simple, but it's calling my name. It's like this taupey, bronzy metallic, and it's almost like a satin. I love those types of shades, so that caught my eye, and so I'm like, what do I put on my lower lash line? I don't even know. Look at this shade. This is the shade Jessie. Ooh, it's a duochrome, multi-chrome, excuse me. Look at that. Look at that. I just went under my lash line with that shade Violin just to give it a base, but I think I want to try some of these purples under there. This may clash horribly, but I kind of want to, just to see. So we're going to start with the shade Resurrect, which is this really beautiful, like, mid-toned purple. And I'm using a flat definer just to lightly apply that under my lower lash line, or on my lower lash line. And I'm kind of just doing this to kind of smoke it out a bit. That's so pretty. Okay. Now I'm going to take the shade Betrayal, which is a deeper purple, and I'm going to put that on this part of the eye, the lower lash line. It's a little bit deeper, not a ton, but a little bit deeper and warmer than Resurrect. Okay, and now I'm going to take the shade Charms, and I showed you guys what that one looked like. I'm using the same brush. I'm dipping in, and I'm going to wet my brush because, you know, obvi. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that tone. Now I'm like, oh, I want to play with this some more. I will, of course, play with this some more in my own time, but I might do a couple more looks with it on camera for you guys. Maybe once my Weirdos palette shows up, I'll do a multiple looks video with both palettes. That'll be fun. Be a lot of work. My eyelids will cry, but I actually really enjoyed the multiple look video I did for the Pat McGrath Quint. That was the first one I've done like that, because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I get scared doing those type of videos because my eyes are so sensitive that I'm like, I don't know. But that one I was actually okay. So maybe I'll be okay this time. Oh, Oh, and so this is the shade Queen. I'm just dipping into that and putting that. This is very flaky. My brush is still wet though, so it's picking up nicely. And I'm taking this, and I actually think I'm going to take a little bit of this just up, further over this shade Centuries that I have on my lid. Oh, this is so pretty. All right, guys. I'm going to put some mascara on and I'll come back and we can get down to swatching. Here's my arm. She's clean. She's ready for action. Okay, so let's start with what I do like about the composition of this. Let me just point this out, is that all of the mattes are on the first 2 rows and all of the shimmers and metallics and duochromes are on the second 2 rows. I like the organization of that. I'm not gonna lie. I think that this was all like spread out. It would look a bit more chaotic, but that way I think you can really see a cohesive look when you look at this palette, as opposed to like, what do I go with next? Now, don't get me wrong. When I still looked at this, I was a little overwhelmed, but it's because, I mean, look at it. It's a lot and it's beautiful. And I just didn't know where to begin because I wanted to use all of them and I didn't know what I wanted to use first. Not so much, I don't know how to put these colors together. You know what I mean? So let's start off. Oh. All right. So let's start off with the shade Stone, which is the white. Very pretty. We then have Violin, Mother, whoop, let my fingers up, Alone, which is this is a brown, but as you can see, it has some purple tones in there. Very pretty. And finally, the black, Forsaken, and that is a black. Stop. We have the shade Marius, Resurrect, Lestat, Betrayal, and finally, Drink. So these are all of the matte tones in here. So you get your row of neutrals and you get your row of purples and reds. I love the composition of that. Like the more that, now that I've like swatched it out and really looked at it, I'm very impressed with the composition of this palette. On to the 2 rows of metallic shimmers duochrome. So first off, let's start with the shade Worship. And this is the satin. This is kind of a satin shade. And I showed you guys this shade on my finger earlier. I love, look, that's my kind of shade. Next up is Admiral's Arms. This is the silver. Okay. Next up we have Charms. I showed you guys this one. This is what's on my lower lash line and I am obsessed and I need this all over my eyes. Look at that. My gosh. Akasha, which of course is the like gold in the palette, like the true gold. Awaken. And this is very flaky and very multi-chromy. And I picked up way too much of my finger. But do you see the shift in that? It's like yellow, gold, lilac, or yellow, gold, lavender. Do you see that? Oh, so pretty. All right, second row. Human. Centuries. This is the shade that is on my lid. Very flaky, very creamy. Stunning, stunning. Immortality, which is the red metallic, which is always gonna have a place in my heart. So stunning. I love a red metallic. And that was probably the most, like, Worship and Immortality are probably the 2 traditional metallics in the palette. I would say this one is a bit more satiny. This one is a bit more traditional. They're a bit flatter in texture. The other ones have a lot of texture to them. These are pretty smooth. Next up is Queen. Let's see if I can get more of that so you guys can see it. And then get the shift. This one has a shift too. It's similar to this one, but not quite the same. The shift in this one is more pink. And the shift in the other one, I think, is more purple, or vice versa. It depends on how you... Yeah, I guess I would say this one is a bit pinker and that one's a bit purpler, more purpler. This is Jessie, the final shade. And this one is gold, but it has like... In the light, it has this pink to it. But in the, I'll show you in the pan, it's quite, like here on camera, it looks quite pink. In person, it looks quite gold. So it really just depends on how you're looking at it. But these are the two rows of the metallics and shimmers and duochromes. All right, guys, that is everything. I just fixed up my lipstick and took the lipstick off my teeth, which, you know, is what happens when you apply lipstick without your glasses on. I don't want to talk about it. But let's talk about this palette. I am so impressed and I'm so excited to play with this some more. Let me zoom you guys out a little bit. I'm so excited to play with this some more and I want to do some more looks for you. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video and I will do a, you know, 1 palette, 2 looks with this. And I'm also, this makes me even more excited for when my other palette, The Weirdos, arrives because I love that color story. I love this color story too. They're very different, but I love both of these color stories. I love the theme of this. I love the theme of this. The Queen of the Damn film, a lot of people don't, I mean, it didn't do very well, but I don't know, that movie, I don't know, it's one of those movies that I enjoy a lot. So for me, I love the palette, I love the film, I love Leah. So yeah, this for me is an all-around winner. I know this is a limited edition. I don't know if they're still doing pre-orders or orders for it. If they are, I will leave a link down below. They did say it was limited edition, but you know, I feel like when it comes to stuff like this, if you let brands know, you know, they might be able to eventually restock it. Sometimes things are limited edition because the pigments aren't available all year round or they're not available any longer. So it's not so much that the brand doesn't want to bring it back. It's just that they can't. It all depends on those types of things. But I hope that I know that this was a really popular release for them and pre-order for them. So if they are able to bring it back, I hope they do so that those of you who weren't able to get your hands on it can eventually. But yes, this is an amazing, amazing palette. It was pricey, but I'm very happy with it and I feel like it was worth the money. Yeah, I think this palette was $70, which is expensive, but you see how many colors you get, you see how many formulations you get. This was my first experience with Unearthly's eyeshadow formula and I'm very impressed. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to hit the like button and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.